All right, good afternoon. Hope you're having a good, safe Tuesday. Tavian Whitehurst with me in the Channel 10 Weather Center. First of all, we do have a 10 weather impact day that's going to continue through this evening. We are looking at a pretty high probability for some thunderstorms that could be strong to severe. Main threats will be damage and wind gust. Some hail is possible and heavy rainfall. There's a low-wind isolated tornado threat for areas closer to the Tennessee, Kentucky, and Virginia state line, particularly across the northern half of East Tennessee. That's where there's a greater likelihood for some severe storms. All right, that is the setup. Again, good afternoon. Got a lot of different details to get to. We wanted to bring you a Facebook Live update right now in advance of our shows coming up. Of course, we'll have complete and full weather coverage on all the latest storms and timeline, etc., coming up at 4 o'clock. And, of course, we'll keep you updated throughout the evening on all our shows and platforms, of course, for the 4, 5, and 6, and the 6:30 on Fox 43. So that's what we got coming up. But right now, we wanted to give you an update. We are looking live at our downtown Knoxville camera at some of the thunderstorms starting to develop, coming out of Kentucky and even in other parts of East Tennessee. Clinton, very heavy rain. Also some other cells coming into northern Knox County. That's what it looks like right now. It's 83 in Knoxville with the dew point of 68, and the winds are breezy south-southwest at 16 miles per hour. A lot of different details to get to. And again, you can kind of see that over my shoulder. By the way, we're going to share this with our other pages, so give me a half second to do that as we go in time here. I'll try to take any of your questions that you may have as well. And for those in the back, waiting for that to be shared on our WBIR Weather Facebook page as well. Chris and other guys, Tom, thank y'all for doing that. And we'll get it shared across our platform on our other pages. So we'll see that come up. It takes a little bit of a few seconds to see that come up. All right, here's what we're looking at right now, though. We do have a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk area across northern counties in East Tennessee, Kentucky, into parts of southwest Virginia. New severe thunderstorm warnings are being issued. I'm going to get to those in just a moment. Surrounding the enhanced risk area, level 3, is a level 2 elevated risk area in yellow, and that covers all of East Tennessee. So again, zooming on in, if you live in southeast Kentucky and are watching us, you have an enhanced risk area. This is where the greatest likelihood of severe storms is going to be. Southeast Kentucky, southwest Virginia, Fentress, northern Morgan, Scott, Campbell, Union, Claiborne, Granger, Hamblin, Morristown, Greene, Hawkins, and Hancock counties, Lee County, Virginia, and all of southeast Kentucky. Again, everywhere else, we do have an elevated slight risk area. Officially, we have a severe thunderstorm watch that's going to be in place until 8 o'clock tonight. So severe weather is possible. Conditions are favorable for strong to severe storms in and close to the watch area. That's the definition. When a watch is issued, it means severe weather is possible. Conditions are favorable for severe storms. Doesn't mean it's different from a warning. A watch just means it's possible. A warning means take action, move to your safe place if a severe thunderstorm warning is issued and or a tornado warning, etc. So that's our watch until 8 o'clock tonight. Our window is generally from right now through 8 p.m. and maybe 9 p.m. for eastern areas, but between right now and 8 p.m., that's our timeline. There also is the decent potential for flooding as we head through this evening. And this is what we're looking at. Some heavy rainfall is also possible. So here are your impacts. Main impacts, damage and wind gusts possible. Could have downed trees and power outages now that we're fully into May and, of course, well into spring. Everything's leafed out, so the trees act like sails. They catch the wind. And again, when you have some strong damage and wind gusts in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour, you're probably going to have some wind damage and possible trees down and power outages. So we're looking at a high-end moderate to a low-end high impact from that, potentially out of this system coming in. Locally, heavy rain could lead to flooding, moderate impact. Hail could be up to quarter size. So there's that potential. Tornado threat is low, but not zero. For northern areas, isolated tornadoes are possible. Right now, the main cluster of thunderstorms with severe weather is all up in Kentucky. So we do not have any warnings in East Tennessee, but we do have severe thunderstorms starting to develop. Again, the counties outlined in yellow, that's the broad watch area. What I just showed you a second ago were individual warnings, those individual polygons. You'll see those again in a second. Look at these thunderstorms starting to blossom, though. From near Crossville, Spring City, Oak Ridge, north of Knoxville, heads up around the Halls area, Paulette, crossing out of in Rocky Top from Anderson County into northern Knox County, heads up around Plainview and Blaine, coming from Union County into Granger County. Again, everything working its way off to the east at about 40 miles per hour. So look at these cells right here. Again, Powell to Halls, that is a large thunderstorm. It's strong, could have P to half-inch size hail, and winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour, torrential rainfall. Same story for the storm up in Union County. Again, Luttrell, Maynardville, near Corryton, Plainview and Blaine. This is going to be heading near your area, particularly Plainview, and heading from Union County right into Washburn. So heads up as you, if you live in Thornhill, Washburn, and Granger County, and Joppa as well. That's going to be moving right along the Clinch Mountain corridor. Looking back to our west, Coalfield, Petros, north of Oak Ridge. These are all strong individual cells, and notice these broken cellular nature to these storms. Each one of these has their own little wind field, could have their own hail core, and their own potential dynamics that could be strong and possibly severe. That's one of the elements that we're looking at as these storms, again, are working their way from Morgan, Anderson, into portions of Knox counties, Union, and into Granger counties. And again, you can see these rolling off the plateau. Look at that development. See how they're all blossoming? This is just in the last 1 hour. These thunderstorms continuing to develop, again, could be strong to severe between now through 8 p.m. So these are broken cells. Each one of these could be strong to severe. The main line is expected closer to about 6 to 7 p.m. tonight. And we'll talk more about that in just a second. Again, right now we're giving you all a preview of what we're expecting. Here's a look back at those storms near the Powell, Anderson, Knox County line. Hail is possible, at least pea to half-inch size, maybe larger now. Could be close to dime or penny size hail as this storm continues to develop north of Powell. Again, that has continued to track off to the east, northeast at about 40 miles per hour. That other cell between Luttrell and Maynardville, between Corryton and Maynardville, I should say, headed toward Plainview, also could have some hail. Let me take you up into southeast Kentucky. One of the warnings we have is for far Harlan County until 3:45, and far Harlan County, Kentucky, east of Cumberland now. A quarter-size hail is possible with that storm. And one of the newer warnings, and that's out of our area, that tornado warning, this is a severe thunderstorm warning that does include Pulaski County, and it's going to come on into Laurel County, Kentucky until 4 p.m. So this storm south of Mount Victory, if you live in Corbin and North Corbin, take cover. This is a developing stronger storm. Winds 50, maybe up to 60 miles per hour, and could have some quarter-size hail possible with this particular storm. There's a look at a little bit of a hail core developing. So between Mount Victory and North Corbin, could have some hail developing here as that storm continues to track on off to the east. Again, about 40 miles per hour. Damage winds up to 60 miles per hour possible with some of those cells as well. So let's bring it on back down to the big picture. Again, thunderstorms continue to develop. Where you see these gray boxes, northern Knox County up into Union and Granger County, that means whenever you see these, that's a special statement for strong storms. If you see a yellow box, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. If you see a red box, that's a tornado warning. These are the individual boxes, what we call polygons, for warnings. That means take action, or at least take cover until these storms pass your area. Other than that, notice the spotty nature of thunderstorms that we are seeing back on the plateau. Crossville, Spring City, Wartburg, again, west of North City, near Oak Ridge. These are non-severe at the moment, but they're starting to develop. As I show you the radar over the last 2 hours, these storms will continue to develop. All right, so let's move forward and talk about our timeline of what we're expecting. I'm going to go hour by hour, and of course, 4 o'clock coming up. We are looking at, we'll have the full update on Live at 5 at 4. And this is one of our high-risk models. Again, each one of the models have different strengths and weaknesses of what they're showing. And probably it's not picking up as much of the activity as probably what it should, but it is showing some of the spotty, strong, maybe isolated severe storms down toward Tellico Plains. And that line starting to come out of Kentucky and approaching Fentress County. So from 5 to 6 p.m., that line will continue to develop across the Kentucky into northern counties of East Tennessee border. Right now, just first vantage point, I think it's probably a little slow. Probably put that line of storms, if I had to say right now, maybe a little bit further south. So I'm going to kind of go ahead and draw a new line or area, if you will, from that 6 p.m. hour. It may be shifted a little bit further south and east. Sometimes lines of strong to severe storms, when they're in strengthening mode, tend to accelerate as opposed to slow down. So every system's different, but there's the potential. I think this may be a slightly faster. We'll see. This may be correct, but there's the potential that it could be a little bit faster from, let's just say, Crossville on up toward Rogersville. So in this zone right here, again, closer to 6 p.m., we could be talking about a line of strong to severe storms. Now, as we move from 6 to 7 p.m., let me clear that off the screen. Here's what we're looking at. More of the strong to severe storms, again, that 6 to 7 p.m. hour. It may be closer to that 6 p.m. hour, but that's when we're looking at a greater likelihood for more of the strong to possibly severe storms. Again, each one of these does have the potential to be strong to severe, where you see these individual blobs or cellular nature of these storms. And then as we go from that 7 to 8 p.m., again, this may be sped up closer to the 7 o'clock hour as opposed to the 8 o'clock hour, but we could be looking at some strong to possibly severe storms continuing. Main threats, once again, damaging winds, heavy rainfall, very humid conditions, so locally heavy rain, possible isolated flooding, and some hail, some large hail, damaging winds, large hail, main impacts, as we saw in our impacts graphic a moment ago. Once we get past about 9 p.m., most areas in East Tennessee will see improving conditions, and then we are looking at improving weather for our Wednesday. It looks to be much better shape. So I'll do a reset here. Once again, if you're just tuning in to this Facebook Live update, we'll have full coverage coming up at 4, 5, and 6, and our 6:30 broadcast. We do have a 10 weather impact day. That's where you see the red impact banner. And that means there's a higher probability that most of our viewing area are going to be impacted, will be impacted by strong to possibly severe storms, with the main impacts being damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour, large hail up to quarter size, locally heavy rainfall, possibility of some localized flooding, a low-end isolated tornado threat possible. If we see that, the greater risk area, and I'll show you this again, is across far northern East Tennessee counties up into Kentucky and Virginia. This is a level 3 out of 5. This is the likely area for severe weather. This is the enhanced area right here where there's a greater likelihood for Kentucky, Virginia, and the northern third of East Tennessee. This zone right here, we'll zoom on in just a second. The rest of East Tennessee is bounded by the elevated yellow risk area, which is a level 2 out of 5. So here's, know your counties, know your cities, know where you live in your counties certainly, and your specific area, because if you're in from Jamestown to Maynardville to Morristown to Greenville and north, this zone right here, this is the greater risk for seeing the strong to severe storms. Now, have a decent chance to see severe weather, as we talked about, in the yellow area as well for the rest of East Tennessee. It's just the probabilities are a little bit higher to see some of those strong to severe thunderstorms as we head across our region into this evening. A severe thunderstorm watch is in place until 8 o'clock tonight. So again, the main chances for severe weather is going to be from right now through about 8 p.m. Some of the far southeastern areas, Monroe, Blunt, the Smoky Mountains of Blunt, Sevier, Conch, may extend that from 8 to 9 p.m., but the watch itself is until 8 p.m. And even though, for example, this is a good point to make, even though Knoxville, Lenore City, Spring City, Dandridge, Greenville, technically not in the watch area, here's the definition of the watch. Again, severe weather is possible in the watch area, but also close to the watch area. So again, notice weather, as you know, does not follow strictly county lines, right? It doesn't, when it moves out of one county, it's in the watch, it goes to another county, okay, I'm going to weaken. No, they don't do that. This is just a general area of where the greater likelihood for severe weather is, favorable conditions for severe weather. But you could certainly have severe thunderstorms anywhere in East Tennessee. We have that elevated slight risk area. This is just, again, highlighting the greater area for severe thunderstorms, more closer to tied into that level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk area. They kind of match up, right? So that does include Crossville, Oak Ridge, Morristown, and points to the north. But anywhere in East Tennessee, we have the chance to see some strong to severe storms. Again, that is in place until 8 o'clock, and we also have the potential for that heavy rainfall. So there's a look at the higher impacts, damage and wind gust, higher in moderate impact, low wind, high impact, and then heavy rain from possible flooding from the heavy rainfall, and we could see hail up to 1/4 inch in diameter. This is what we're looking at right now. Again, severe weather is up into Kentucky. We'll check the very latest and see if there's any other information I can pass along to you. And again, we're going to keep you updated. Tavian Whitehurst with me. Tavian, you want to come on in? I'm going to let you give us an update, and we'll kind of look at some of the latest. I'll let you kind of walk through, and we're going to keep you updated on the very latest. Also, Kaylee Bowers, Rebecca Sweet will be on standby and keeping us all updated on all platforms, including on air, as we go through the evening. Tavian, take it away. I'm going to look at a few other things, and we'll be right back.
Cool. Cool. Well, how's it going, everybody? Hope you guys are having a safe afternoon. Not too much more to update you on since Todd was just talking to you. I was looking through all the different storms, keeping an eye on what kind of strength that we're seeing moving through the area. We did have the 2 special weather statements that were moving towards Jefferson and Hamlin counties. Those are going to be seeing winds up to 40, over even 40 miles per hour, and even some pea-sized hail. We're already seeing a lot of these storms gain a lot of that extra instability from the high heat. So lots of lightning, lots of thunderstorms that are rolling through. I know a couple of people have seen some small hail as it has passed over the region. So not too much here in the city of Knoxville, but if we zoom in just a little bit further, we're watching these couple of cells that have been moving just further to our north. We've got this one here now just passing in towards Maynardville. That's going to be heading towards Morristown. These 2 cells right here are where we were looking at the 2 special weather statements. So Maynardville heading towards Morristown, Clinton heading towards Strawberry Plains, Jefferson City, even White Pine. You guys are going to be the next people seeing some of these 2 storms. Again, these 2 in particular were the ones with the special weather statement. A couple smaller little showers surrounding it. You can see we've got one sitting here over here in Wartburg. That is also going to be seeing those winds upwards of 30 to 40 miles per hour. Another one heading just north of Oak Ridge. So if you're in the northern Oak Ridge area getting towards Clinton, I'd say this would be a good time to maybe find a safer spot indoors to go to. Looking like that could just travel a little bit farther north of Powell as well. But as you move a little bit further down the valley, you're seeing just to the southwest of Lenoir City, getting into the Paint Rock area right here along the river. That storm is going to be moving a little bit closer as well. We can watch the track of where that is headed. And that is going to be continuing to move its way on pretty much straight east, essentially. So it looks like North City crossing over 75. You guys are going to be some of the ones to see that system next. Same thing. Looks like this system right behind it, just to the northeast of Spring City, going to be following that same path as it moves on over. But other than that, a pretty lighter, scattered, more isolated look to some of the showers that we're seeing right now. Looks like not too much along I-75, but a good bit along I-40 and continuing further north, 75 towards La Follette. You guys are some of the ones that are seeing some of the stronger storms. So if we're looking at purely distribution throughout the area as a whole, really those of you in the plateau, you guys are seeing some of those showers right now. We're slowly moving our way down into the valley. We're seeing a lot of these storms travel at around 20 to 40 miles per hour, depending on how far the north they are. Now, of course, in Kentucky, those are some of the storms that are moving just a little bit quicker. They already have some of that severity that they're seeing early in this afternoon. But we've still got a little bit of time here in East Tennessee. We're going to continue to keep an eye on this, keep it on the showers. Make sure you keep your alerts on this afternoon, special weather statements, severe thunderstorm warnings, that we can keep you guys updated. And if, God forbid, anything gets intense enough, we, of course, will be here to keep you guys safe and make sure you are abreast with everything going on. But
hey, David, let's go back through the Futurecast. Some folks are wondering, some folks were asking about White Pine and their particular area. Let's go walk back through the Futurecast toward the bottom there.
Absolutely.
And maybe we'll kind of go back through a timeline, and we'll go hour by hour from right now and up until the 5 o'clock hour, Tavian. I'll let you kind of walk through there. And if for folks, again, they were talking about the White Pine area near Newport, Morristown area. Again, kind of watch this hour by hour, and this will give you an update of what we're expecting. Maybe, I think a timing, Tavian, maybe a little slow, but I'll let you walk through and tell folks what we're seeing coming up here.
Yeah, it seems like this one in particular, it's missing some of the earlier sprinkles that we have right now. You can see these 2 cells right here just down south towards Athens, Tellico Plains. But as we get over this next hour, we're going to see more unification along this front as it travels over the area. It's got a very wide kind of stretch to it, going to be coming down from the eastern parts of Kentucky and then coming also from the plateau, making that sort of northwest to southeast direction as it moves its way through. So 6 o'clock sitting right along the border, maybe a little bit further from that point. We get into 7. That's when those of you right closer, those counties closer to the Tennessee-Kentucky line, that is when some of you, especially further out in the plateau, are going to be seeing some of those stronger storms. That's where we're seeing a lot of that instability is laid in as those storms come in kind of right before that sunset time period. Stronger cells going from Rogersville, between Huntsville and Jamestown, getting towards La Follette, even Wartburg and Crossville. You guys are usually some of the first people to see some of those stronger storms as well. We get closer to 8 o'clock, we're now seeing that line really start to move its way into the valley. You see that first walk now getting in towards the mountains and foothills, upper East Tennessee. You see just south of Greenville. That's when you guys are going to get some of that strongest action before it crosses over into North Carolina. Right along that line, getting in towards 40. If you're driving along that area, I definitely recommend being inside once you get to around 8 o'clock in dinner time. That's when it seems like some of those storms are going to be rolling a little bit faster. faster. And I will actually say a lot of times once we have these cold fronts run through and they start to go from the valley into, or excuse me, the plateau into the valley, they tend to pick up speed pretty quickly. We see a lot of these storms starting to pick up, moving sometimes 40, even closer to 45 miles per hour. So that is something to keep in mind, that once they do get into the area, it'll be a very swift movement, but that swiftness could also cause a lot of danger. Things like localized flooding. If those winds are going to be moving quickly enough, that is something else you're going to want to keep in mind. So really inside is the easiest and the best place for you to be. But as we get to around 9 o'clock, it seems like that's when things are going to start to be dying down just a bit. More general showers as we're getting into the area. Some of that stronger line of storms going to be moving further down into the south, heading into the mountains, heading into parts of northern Georgia. You see we get to about 10 o'clock. Let me roll that back just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, you see we get back to about 10 o'clock or so. Some of the stronger storms start to move out of the area. So once you're back here tonight with Todd for our 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock shows, that should be nearing the end of some of these systems as they continue to move out. And then maybe a few more leftover showers as we see that front continue to pass into your Wednesday morning. But as we get later into the daytime on Wednesday, we're going to see still some cloudier skies, but overall a dry off in terms of letting some of that rain go.
All right. Hey, Tavian, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. We're going to go here in just a minute, get ready. Thank you, Tavian, for the 4 o'clock show coming up. Just getting a severe thunderstorm warning for Granger County. So let's give you a very latest update again for Granger County. That's going to be in place. And pull up that very latest here. So we get our Morristown radar back on track. Granger, Hamlin, Jefferson, and Union until 4:30. So this is the cell we were looking at that was
statement.
Yeah, that was initially strong, but now again, this is the mode these thunderstorms are in. They're strengthening, and so now we have a severe thunderstorm warning. That, as you can see right there, that's going to be in place for, again, Alpha, Morristown, Rutledge, Washburn. So coming out of Union County, that same cell around Plainview we're talking about, and heading toward Joppa and Washburn, and that's going to continue to impact Granger and Hamlin County as well as Jefferson coming out of Union County. So again, that's in place until 4:30, and I'll zoom in just a little bit more. We also have the strong cell that's in northern Knox County. I'll get to that in just a moment as well. But again, there's the potential for 1-inch size hail is what's indicated here. Also, we do have the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and this storm is moving off to the east at 30 miles per hour. So again, the severe thunderstorm was located 7 miles east of Plainview, 7 miles east of Maynardville, moving east of 30. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail possible as this storm continues to track on to the east. So coming out of Union into Granger County, heads up for Alpha, Morristown down the road. That is a potential strong to severe storms that could bring some damage and winds as it heads toward West Hamlin and into the central part of Hamlin County, including Morristown. I mentioned the other cell that's coming into northern portions of Knox County. That includes Strawberry Plains, Skagson near Corryton. So again, this is a strong cell. This is increasing in strength. Could be looking at 50-mile-per-hour winds, maybe half-inch to penny to dime-size hail as this storm continues to track off to the east at 40 miles per hour. The last we had was 40-mile-per-hour winds and pea-size hail, but again, we could be looking at the potential for some hail with that. Elsewhere, otherwise, again, and we're going to take a moment to reset for the 4 o'clock show. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing for much of southeast Kentucky. One of the latest warnings is for Knox County, Kentucky, and that's going to be in place until 4:15, I believe it is. And so for Knox County, Kentucky, again, we are looking at that severe thunderstorm warning that will be in place, and that's going to continue to be tracking off to the east, also at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. All right, so that's the latest we have. Again, the timeline is going to bring these storms through between right now and 8 p.m. So we got basically a 4-hour window of potentially some strong to severe storms. We're going to keep you updated throughout the evening. Tune in at 4 o'clock for Live at 5 at 4 right here on Channel 10. And of course, throughout the rest of the evening, 10 News at 5, 10 News at 6, 6:30 over on Fox 43. And thereafter, on all social platforms and on air, we'll keep you updated. And we want you to have a good rest of your Tuesday. Stay safe. By the way, know where you go to your safe place when a severe thunderstorm warning or severe weather alert is issued. And that is typically lowest floor, away from outer walls and windows, center part of your house, small bathroom, hallway, or closet. It's always a good idea. And know where your safe place is. Again, lowest floor, basement's a great place to be. In case we do see some severe weather that impacts your area, it's always a good idea to know where to go to your safe place, get there quickly, have a way to receive weather alerts on your phone, your tablets. Make sure they're charged up ahead of time. If power goes out later, it's always a good idea to do right now. I think we're all good. Mine's at 71%, so I'm doing good right now. But make sure your devices are charged up and keep it right here. We'll keep you updated for the very latest. Robin Wilhoit coming to the studio right now, standing by, and we'll all keep you updated on the latest news of the day as well as the latest weather updates. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back on Channel 10 at 4 o'clock in just a few moments.